Macbeth is a tragedy written by William Shakespeare around 1606 and is one of his most famous and frequently performed plays. Set in medieval Scotland, the play explores themes of ambition, power, fate, and guilt through the rise and fall of the title character, Macbeth, a once noble warrior whose desire for power leads to his destruction. The story follows Macbeth, a Scottish general, who receives a prophecy from three witches that he will become King of Scotland. Driven by ambition and encouraged by his wife, Lady Macbeth, he murders King Duncan to seize the throne. However, his paranoia and guilt soon spiral out of control, leading to further violence, madness, and ultimately his downfall. Macbeth is often seen as a psychological drama, showcasing how power and unchecked ambition can corrupt the mind and soul. The play is also famous for its supernatural elements, including the witches and the haunting visions that torment Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. As one of Shakespeare's shortest but most intense tragedies, Macbeth remains a powerful study of human nature, exploring the consequences of moral choices and the destructive effects of unchecked ambition. Here is a brief summary of Macbeth. Act 1, The Spark of Ambition. The play begins with thunder and lightning as three witches gather on a heath, foreshadowing chaos. They plan to meet Macbeth, a Scottish nobleman, after a battle. Meanwhile, King Duncan receives reports of a victorious battle where Macbeth, a general in the Scottish army, fought bravely against Macdonald, a traitor allied with the Norwegians. Macbeth's courage impresses Duncan, who orders that he be given the title of Thane of Cawdor as a reward. On their way home, Macbeth and his friend Banquo encounter the three witches. They greet Macbeth with three titles. Thane of Glamis, his current title. Thane of Cawdor, a title he doesn't yet know he has. King hereafter, suggesting he will become king. Banquo, curious, asks about his own fate. The witches tell him he will be lesser than Macbeth, but greater, and that his descendants will be kings, though he himself will not rule. Before Banquo or Macbeth can ask more, the witches vanish. Soon after, messengers arrive confirming that Macbeth has indeed been named Thane of Cawdor. Macbeth is shocked that part of the prophecy has already come true and begins wondering whether he must take action to fulfill the rest. Banquo warns him that the witches may be deceiving him. Back at Macbeth's castle, Lady Macbeth receives a letter from her husband about the witches' prophecy. She immediately resolves that Macbeth must kill King Duncan to take the throne. When she learns that Duncan will stay the night at their castle, she calls on dark spirits to unsex her, filling her with cruelty so she can carry out the plan. When Macbeth arrives, he is hesitant about murder, but Lady Macbeth manipulates him, questioning his masculinity and courage. She devises a plan. They will drug Duncan's guards and frame them for the murder. Reluctantly, Macbeth agrees. Act 2, Murder and Guilt. As night falls, Macbeth hallucinates a floating bloody dagger leading him toward Duncan's room, symbolizing his inner conflict. He proceeds with the murder, killing Duncan in his sleep. Afterward, Macbeth returns to Lady Macbeth, shaken and guilt-ridden. He forgets to plant the daggers on the guards, so Lady Macbeth takes them and does it herself. Soon after, there is a loud knocking at the castle gate. Macduff, a nobleman, arrives and discovers Duncan's murder. Chaos ensues, and Macbeth, pretending to be overcome with grief, kills the guards before they can defend themselves. Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Denalban, fear they will be blamed, so they flee, Malcolm to England and Denalban to Ireland. Their escape makes them seem guilty, clearing the way for Macbeth to take the throne. Act 3, The Rise of the Tyrant. Now king, Macbeth is haunted by the witches' prophecy that Banquo's descendants will rule Scotland. He fears Banquo and his son, Flens, as threats to his throne. Macbeth hires two assassins to kill Banquo and Flens. That evening, Banquo is murdered, but Flens escapes, leaving Macbeth feeling insecure. At a royal banquet, Macbeth sees Banquo's ghost sitting in his chair. No one else can see the ghost, and Macbeth's terrified reaction shocks the guests. Lady Macbeth tries to calm him, but his paranoia deepens. Determined to know more, Macbeth decides to visit the witches again. Act 4, The Witches' Deception. Macbeth meets the witches, who summon 3 apparitions. A floating head, warning him to beware Macduff. A bloody child, saying, "None of woman born shall harm Macbeth." A crowned child holding a tree, promising Macbeth is safe until Birnam Wood comes to Dunsinane. Feeling reassured that he cannot be defeated, Macbeth becomes even more ruthless. Meanwhile, in England, Macduff joins Malcolm to plan Macbeth's overthrow. Macbeth, in response, orders the massacre of Macduff's entire family, proving his descent into tyranny. Act 5, The Fall of Macbeth. At Macbeth's castle, Lady Macbeth is overcome with guilt. She sleepwalks, obsessively trying to wash imaginary bloodstains from her hands. She mutters, "Out, damned spot," revealing her deep remorse. Meanwhile, Macduff and Malcolm's army marched toward Macbeth's castle. They cut branches from Birnam Wood to disguise their numbers, thus fulfilling the witch's prophecy. As battle begins, Macbeth still believes he is invincible. However, Macduff reveals that he was not of woman born, but was delivered via C-section. Macbeth realizes the witches have tricked him, but he fights anyway. Macduff kills Macbeth and presents his severed head to Malcolm, who is declared the new king. Themes in Macbeth. Ambition and power. Macbeth's desire for power leads to his downfall. Fate versus free will. The witch's prophecy sets events in motion, but Macbeth chooses his own path. Guilt and madness. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth descend into guilt-driven insanity. Deception and betrayal. Characters deceive one another, leading to tragic consequences. Conclusion on Macbeth. Shakespeare's Macbeth is a powerful tragedy that explores the dangers of unchecked ambition, moral corruption, and fate's influence on human actions. Throughout the play, Macbeth transforms from a loyal and honorable soldier into a ruthless tyrant, consumed by his desire for power. His tragic downfall serves as a warning about the consequences of greed and betrayal. One of the play's most striking aspects is its exploration of guilt and conscience. Both Macbeth and Lady Macbeth believe they can control their actions without consequences, yet they are haunted by their crimes. Lady Macbeth's descent into madness and Macbeth's increasing paranoia and brutality highlight how guilt can destroy even the most ambitious individuals. Additionally, the role of fate versus free will is central to the tragedy. The witch's prophecies may have planted the seed of ambition, but it is Macbeth's own choices that lead to his downfall. This raises the question, was Macbeth doomed from the start, or did he create his own fate? Ultimately, Macbeth remains one of Shakespeare's most enduring and thought-provoking plays, offering a timeless lesson on the destructive power of ambition, the weight of guilt, and the inevitable fall of those who seek power at any cost. Final thoughts. Macbeth is a tragedy of unchecked ambition. Macbeth begins as a brave hero but becomes a ruthless tyrant, ultimately destroying himself. Lady Macbeth, once strong and manipulative, is consumed by guilt. Their deaths serve as warnings about the dangers of ambition, deception, and moral corruption.